Thanks so much for logging on to SNN Local News 6 Weather First Facebook forecast. I'm meteorologist Josh Dillon looking at the weather today. And notice that there's a front over the southeastern states. This is actually going to play a role with what Tropical Storm Emily does over the next couple of days. And we're going to talk about this in just a second. But this trough low pressure is really digging into the southeast. And this is actually going to help steer Emily away from the state of Florida. So you can all breathe a sigh of relief. Unless you're going to the east coast of Florida, you could run into some heavy rain over there. Now let's talk about what's happening as far as rainfall right now. Some scattered showers in the Gulf of Mexico, not a big deal. They're pulse storms. They develop really quickly and fall apart really quickly, and they're just hit or miss showers at this time. But as we go through today, we're calling for isolated showers on and off for our forecast. 92 degrees will be our high, but remember, with the humidity in place and the air temperature quite warm, we're talking about a feel-like temperature of over 100 degrees. So once again, slow it down out there, hydrate yourself, and just take it easy in conditions like this. All right, the big story here in the tropics is Tropical Storm Emily has sustained winds of 50 miles per hour. It's now moving towards the west and northwest at a slow pace, about 7 miles per hour. There is some wind shear on the western side of it, so it's disrupting the storm a little bit, but it is affecting Hispaniola. And a couple of things with this. One is, first of all, Hispaniola is an island, so once this crosses Hispaniola, that water supply will be cut off. So that means that it will weaken the storm. But also, Hispaniola is made out of a very mountainous terrain, and the high mountains will actually disrupt the flow of the storm. So this is all good news because the storm is looking to weaken. It also could track over the eastern edge of Cuba, which will also help to weaken it as well, because the eastern half of Cuba also has mountains in it. So anyway, as far as the track of Emily goes, it is going to make that turn to the north and west towards Florida. However, remember I talked about that trough in the southeast. That's actually going to come in and help to steer Emily away from the state of Florida and actually away from the United States and move it out to the northeastern Atlantic. So we can all breathe a sigh of relief. I don't think this is going to affect the Sun Coast by any means. There could be some breezy conditions at times over the weekend, but that's about it. I think maybe 1 to 3 inches of rainfall on the east coast of Florida and maybe some high surf and even higher winds over there, but not a big deal. This is going to stay offshore and basically move away from the state of Florida and the United States, which is great news for everybody. Okay, as far as what's happening in the weather today, lower to mid-90s, just like yesterday. The further inland you get, gets a little bit warmer. As far as your forecast for the boaters, seas at 1 to 2 feet just offshore, light shop, but watch out for those isolated showers and storms in the Gulf of Mexico. Here's your high tide in Sarasota at 4:57 p.m. Low tide in Charlotte Harbor at 1:50 in the afternoon. And looking at the 6-day outlook, well, we're calling for showers and storms over the weekend. Now, this may have to be fine-tuned as Emily gets closer to us, but at this time, around a 30% chance of shower activity, and highs will top out in the lower 90s. Thanks so much for logging on to SNN Local News 6 Weather First Facebook forecast. I'm meteorologist Josh Dillon.